I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford.
Hey guys, this is Marty and welcome to the Feels Like Home podcast. This week we sat down with Sarah Myers and Shauna Shanks from High Five Cakes Bakery and Teahouse. And they set up shop almost 2 years ago in downtown Chillicothe. And it is a wonderful place to go get baked goods. But we sit down and talk to them about how they came about, how they became partners in this great business, and what are some of the things that they've learned since starting, how they survived the pandemic, and just really all around, discuss the bakery business and really their friendship and how they're able to work together to create something wonderful. So we're excited about them here today, and we hope that you enjoy this conversation and you get a lot out of it. And maybe it inspires you to go out there and start something of your own. So this is Sarah Myers and Shauna Shanks from High Five Cakes Bakery and Teahouse. We hope you enjoy.
All right. So this is, I think I'm going to start a new tradition to start the podcast. I'm going to do a dad joke for every intro.
Oh, boy.
This will definitely be the sweetest podcast we've done so far.
You should start with a mom joke since you're bringing the chicks in.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll be here all week. Actually, just today. Today we have Sarah Myers and Shauna Shanks from High Five Bakery, Teahouse Cakes.
High Five Cakes Bakery and Teahouse.
Yeah. I can never remember exactly how to phrase it because I know it's like High Five Cakes Bakery and Teahouse.
We're about to take the cakes off altogether and just call it High Five Bakery so I never have to make a fancy cake again.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So I'll let you introduce yourselves and then we'll kind of go from there. But if you don't know where High Five Cakes is, downtown Chillicothe.
81 North Paint Street.
There you go. And when are you open? Let's start
Follow
there.
your nose. You can probably
Follow
smell
your
it.
nose. That's true.
We're open Thursday through Sunday. Thursday through Saturday is 10 to 6. Yeah. Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 6.
And
Sunday, 11 to 5.
Yeah.
All right.
For now. But it's always tentative. Like we're always trying to decide what the right schedule is since the Rona.
Yes. Which we are, when we record this, we're just a few days away from June 2nd, when all of the
mandates are lifted. No masks, no capacity restrictions, things like that.
I know, and I'm jumping ahead of where I wanted to go, but that's fine. I know that you guys shut down for a little bit longer than most businesses did. So does the June 2nd date and the lifting of the restrictions and the mandates give you any cause, or are you just, I'm ready to go?
I feel like we're unaffected.
I feel like,
that.
I think people, what they don't understand is when we are open and there's not foot traffic downtown, like we are at a complete loss because we can't sell our stuff the next day.
Yep.
We don't, our stuff is it's not shelf stable.
We could sell our stuff the next day,
don't.
But we're not that kind of bakery.
So it's not like you're just out the staff hours, you're out, everything. So that's kind of why in the middle of the pandemic and a lot of businesses stayed open, it's because they were either retail stores or it doesn't matter because it's not food, or it's made to order food like restaurants where, they're not going to just be out all of that product.
And the other thing was that we just didn't feel like we were a necessity. So like restaurants and things, there are people who may have trouble getting prepared food or whatnot. Nobody's going to die without a cupcake. We just felt...
And I don't feel like people had any problems with their quarantine 15, even without us. Like,
yeah, right.
Even without us.
Yeah. So we kind of had we had a little bit of a moral discussion about it too. We were like, we're not really a necessity when everybody's like, you can open up. And we're like, but we're not really a necessity,
I think we just decided to err on the side of caution. We, we made sure that our employees were taken care of.
Yep.
And that was our priority.
Yeah. And we made it.
Yay.
First year of business, man.
Yeah.
Talk about some business boot camp, man.
Yeah, because I think what we did was we did the ribbon cutting
A year
was like
later.
a year later.
Birthday.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I don't know, a couple months later or so. It was.
Well, no, it was before that.
Oh, right. You're right.
Yeah, it was a 1 year anniversary. We were only open for 5, 6, almost 7 months when we decided to close, and it was very abrupt. Do you remember? Like, we were just at work and we were like,
Yeah, I had no idea.
hey, everybody's like, things are happening. Like, people are closing down.
Like we were working so many hours at the time because we were still a brand new
blur.
business. I literally remember hearing, oh, there's something about a coronavirus. And then the next day it was like, you're shut down, you're going home.
Yeah, I remember talking to you like, hey, I just looked at the news and I'm kind of scared. Like, I think we should close. So we closed the first day like, okay, let's just close and see what's going on. Then it only took a day of news watching for us to be like, buckle in.
And I think what is good for us, and this has been successful in the past, is like we are able to have sales and then we can deliver things. Like, I think right after we shut down for the pandemic, it was around Easter time, so we were able to deliver Easter baskets.
Yeah,
and
we did a good pivot. Yeah, and it was a way to spread joy. So it was a way to bring treats, homemade treats, and we delivered them, which was a Kelsey actually helped us deliver them that day. That was interesting.
That was a fun
that
day.
was interesting. But I thought it was a great pivot that we did that, like, because we weren't making any money. And then it was like, oh, we can do this.
And we still try to do that on the holidays. You know, we'll have like
just
holiday
not deliver 'em.
sales, not delivery, but we have the nice alley right beside us so we can do curbside and all that.
Yeah. Which
I
we
think
made.
you were in the same boat that everybody else was in, where it's like, hey, we're going to, this may only be a couple weeks.
Right.
This pandemic.
Yeah,
thing.
and we
It's
were
only gonna
actually
be a
like,
couple days.
oh,
We'll just
let's be
relax and-
real. I mean, we were exhausted. We were beat down when this was hitting. So the thought of a couple weeks, I mean, obviously there's sadness and scariness, but we were like, hey kids, remember me? You know, like we were
Take a deep breath
cooking
and-
dinner.
Because we're brand new bosses. Like, this is our first storefront, you know, and we were just so busy and just there. I'm not exaggerating when I say we worked 19 hours.
We worked 19-hour days. There were some days where I legit took a nap, and the only reason she didn't is she had younger kids. I took a nap in the kid nook, and I'm talking a cat nap, covered up with warm aprons out of the dryer because that was the only way to stay warm. And then right back at it a couple hours later, I'd be like, I'm just laying for 20 minutes, which turned into 2 hours, but whatever.
So we definitely tried to, see the good in that and step
spend time
back.
with our
And
family.
it helped us to, when you walk away from something like that, like
Reset.
reevaluate.
Reset and reevaluate. I feel like I always feel bad when I say that. I feel like it helped us as bosses and as a business because we got that thrown in and like working our tails off to where it was a blur, and then we got to sit back and brainstorm and almost like reinvent ourselves in that time to realize, like she said, priorities and how to be bosses. Like, we're still learning that.
But to me, that's one of the things that I think people are losing the further we get back from the heart of the pandemic is the lessons that we learned in the middle of that.
Yeah.
I talked to another business owner who said, because I asked him, well, what have you learned from all this? He's like, well, all the stuff that I've learned has nothing to do with my business. It all has to do with me personally and reassessing the way that I was and the way that I was approaching my life, not just my business.
Yeah.
And I think in some regards, that helped you refocus on your business and helped you to understand, let's get some balance here between work and life.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not last, right? Because I
think we're doing a good job.
I feel like it's, I just feel like it was something that we're thankful for now. We had the opportunity to kind of step back and see all the things we did wrong, which was a lot.
A lot.
Like I said, like we were just
so
run
much.
down. But now we know how to be intentional. I feel like we have our priorities.
And I feel like we were always intentional, but it was exhausted desperation form
You're
of
not making good
intentional.
choices
You know what I
when
mean?
you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
And you have, as moms, like, I don't know, maybe dads have this too, but like the mom guilt of like, I haven't been home for a week.
I remember that first week sitting at dinner. Ooh, I get emotional sitting at the dinner table every night with my family because my husband was home too, and just being like, oh, I missed you guys. You know what I mean? And then when we were in the middle of opening a bakery, not only were we opening a bakery, but we both relocated in that time. I sold my house and bought a house down in Story Place. She turned her house into a rental Airbnb now. and rented a house in town because it was so far.
To town opening weekend.
Yeah, and
So-
we
Oh,
moved
that's right.
when
It was crazy.
When did I move? When
Couple months before
we were supposed to open.
When we were supposed to open. Here's what we thought when we opened. Sarah was going to be with customers up front, and I was going to go bake cupcakes in the back.
And it was just going to be the two of us.
And later, after the people went home, I would probably clean
Maybe we'll
and she
get a
could
front
decorate.
girl.
Yeah, and so then we were going to go home and make dinner for our kids, and it was going to be great. So right early on, I realized like I can't live 25 minutes away from town. Like I need to live on top
Shauna, do you
of
realize
the
you
store.
spend like 7 hours a day in your car transporting your children to schools and stuff? And so yeah, we
there
found
was
a
just
rental.
no space for that because you know a new business is like a newborn baby.
Mm-hmm. And it's just now in like toddler phase, which is what I was saying. Since then, I feel like we still sometimes have to set, even just in this past year since we've been back to work, we still have to sometimes like step back and go, I need some time for me. Mm-hmm. But luckily, I can't imagine being a single business owner. When I set out to do this, there was no way I was doing it without a partner. And I feel like that has shined through so many times with the two of us, where it's like, if you can't go to your kid's soccer game, there's a problem. You know what I mean?
Or I'm tapping out, you're up.
Yeah,
or vice versa. Like,
or I just need a mental break. Like, I can go to Shauna and be like, I am emotionally exhausted. There are some things going on at home, and I just need time. Mm-hmm. And we tag in and out when we need to. It's wonderful. I can't imagine being alone.
It is, and a lot of people are afraid of that partnership idea. Like, oh gosh, because you have to make choices, and how do you compromise and things like that. But for us, like she said, I cannot imagine doing this by myself. And it's kind of a joke in the bakery when somebody asks me something that I don't know. I will say, I'll say that's above my pay grade. I don't know. Ask the other one. And we can do that. We can kind of shift.
We also know to throw each other under the bus with other people too, and we don't mind. We don't take it personally.
That's like Sarah, you can't say that.
Oh well, I legit throw Shauna under the bus, and she legit throws me under the bus. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. But if I say it's Shauna, it definitely was.
Yeah. So let's take a step back for a second, because the partnership thing is definitely something that I want to talk about, because you each were doing your own thing separate of each other. You had cakes, and you were doing, I think you had a studio down on South Paint,
well,
right?
That was really, yeah.
Yeah. And then you had your small folk where you were doing your thing. How does this end up happening? How did the lines intersect?
God.
And then tell me a little bit about, like, I mean, how did it occur to you? Like, I don't know, I have a pretty good thing going. I have a pretty good thing going. You also wrote a book and did some other things as well.
She wasn't even baking at that time because she had shifted to book. Mm-hmm. I was desperate to have a bakery, but I didn't want to do it alone, which is why I rented the studio, which I have PTSD from. But I rented the studio as kind of like a way to have a brick and mortar without having a brick and mortar, just because I really wanted that presence downtown, but I couldn't open a bakery. And so the studio, I worked with the drug court, taught classes, and got to like have a community, whatever, but it wasn't it. It wasn't it. And I knew immediately after, like, this isn't it. I still need the bakery. She wrote the book. I had done
Small Folk before with Lindsay Pfeiffer, and basically that was out of our homes, but we sold at the farmer's market, and we did like events and things like that. But I had to completely put that aside when the book launched, because I was on a book tour. And then it was translated into German, and we had the opportunity to go to Germany and like travel a little bit and do stuff like that. Literally the weekend that I came home, which this is just such a crazy romantic kind of story.
And it really is that romantic, but don't worry, there was definitely lovers' quarrels. But while she's in Germany, so imagine her in Germany, la la la, eating.
That's what I was doing.
Good food, and she was la la laing with her book.
That's what you do in Germany.
Yeah, I mean,
So she's in Germany, and I'm here in Chillicothe going.
Oh yeah.
I was just at a crossroads where I was actually like really depressed, like clinically depressed, because I'm making cakes in a dungeon pretty much. Like, I'm alone. I don't see anyone. I'm a very social person. And so I was at a crossroads, and I was praying about it. Like, okay, I'm either going to brush up and I was brushing up my resume. I'm going to join the workforce and quit cake altogether, or I'm going to open a bakery.
And she told me that. So that weekend that I had, like I said, I just got back in Chillicothe, and
we ran each other 3 times at the exact same spot
in front of the old roast on 2nd Street.
Okay.
Almost the same time every day.
She's telling me, like, I think I'm going to quit doing cakes. And my heart was like, Like, what do I need to do to make that not happen? Like, you tell me what I need to do. And she's like, well, I want to open a bakery and I need a business partner. Literally, what was I like?
She was like, I'll work for you. And I'm like, no, I need a partner. I need someone that's 50-50, that is equally vested, that wants to do this, that's equally in. And she was like, well, I could never do that because you've worked so hard on establishing this, brand or whatever. How about 30-70? That's what you said. And I said, and that's why you would be 50-50, because you were not like, okay, you were like, oh, I could never take 50% of that, what you've worked for, even though it's nothing in the physical realm. It was just the branding and whatever.
For us, we naturally fell into our roles. So I think like what she's talking about when I was like, I don't want 50-50 is because I don't decorate to the level that she decorates. I had not decorated for probably 5 years,
at
before
least,
that,
yeah.
because I was doing like more on the baking side and the tasting side of things.
I hated baking.
So I was like, I don't know what I could really contribute.
A cake maker that hates baking. That's
it's like prepping your medium. So I went to art school. I'm an art school dropout.
Right.
And so I literally went into making cakes because it was a way to get paid for artwork. I bake tasty cakes. They're good cakes, but
you were in the workforce
I
when
was
you started
in the
doing
corporate world when I decided to lose my mind and disappoint everybody and decided to make cakes, which worked out.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Yeah.
But when the first cake was really ugly, and I remember Philip just being like, yeah, and I could see in his eyes, like, you can't win them all, babe. Like, this is not going to work. But he was supportive. But yeah, it was just... I don't know.
So yeah, like it became like this natural where we didn't sit down like, okay, you're gonna have to do these and I'm gonna have to do this.
That is true. We never discussed those things.
She is more social than me, so she can't fathom like working 8 hours in the back alone baking. But I'm like, give me an Audible book. I'm going to be back there by myself, and it works out really, really well.
Yeah, but I also don't want to be in the front anymore because I can't get my work done.
Right.
So I actually zone out in podcasts too, but...
So don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of give and take and compromise and all that, but I do feel like it just naturally...
It did. We naturally fell into our roles, and they work. And if we ever feel overwhelmed by one, then we pass it, we tag off, you know? Like there's sometimes when I'm working on something and I'm like, Shauna, please help me with this. And she will, and vice versa. Like, or just, what do you think of this or whatever? It's great. And in the beginning we haven't had any huge, we've had two significant arguments, and they were both fueled by exhaustion, I think. Don't you?
Yeah. Just working 2 solid days and not sleeping at all.
Right after opening. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Both of us went to the car crying, I think, that night. I don't know. Yeah.
But I feel like too, which this is, good advice in marriage. So I've just
same as marriage.
You have to have like a mutual respect, right, for each other. And I just think that that's so important. Like she never belittles the work that I do. Like, well, she's, she does this, and same as me. Like, well, she just, like we really,
I think we build each other up more.
And I'm glad that she's doing the stuff that I'm not doing because I don't want to do it.
And I'm glad that she's doing the stuff that I'm not doing.
Grateful to have each other.
Yeah. We have
sometimes in your life you meet up with that perfect partner that you don't have to think about things, right? And I think what I'm sensing in what you keep talking about is that you do things just because you sense that that's what needs done, and vice versa, and that's why your partnership works so well.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Many times she'll be like, "Oh, we need to blah blah," and I'm like, "I already got it," or I'll be like, "Hey, blah blah," and she's like, "I ordered it 3 days ago," or whatever. Like we're just.
Yeah, I
don't mean to brag, but we are a brag-worthy
synergy.
Partnership right now. I feel like. Yeah. I mean, like, it's a rare thing. I've seen so many partnerships.
Yeah, and I always tell people when we tell this story, like, I'm like, hold up, I feel like I have to preface, like, I don't advise that meeting a business partner in one weekend and be sure, I'll do it with
like
you.
Having we met in front of Rose, had coffee, and then the third day we were like, what are you doing? Why have we met 3 days in a row at the same place? Let's go have lunch. And over that lunch, we decided to become business partners, but we didn't tell anybody. And so for like a month, was it about a month? Like every day, one or the other would text like, hey, do you still feel the same way? And I'm like, yeah, do you? And then I gave her the first bake list for all the orders because she was like, I'll do the baking. I'm like, okay.
Well, because we were trying to make money for a storefront, so we were pushing orders, and we would have like hundreds of cupcakes or Yule logs or whatever we were doing.
Yeah, and I give her the bake list for like the cakes because I still had to do all the cake orders, and I was like,
I don't think you've baked since, have you?
Yes, in emergencies. I baked cupcakes the other week, remember? Just saying.
And I've done wedding cakes in emergencies.
Yeah, but it's rare, and I'm fine with that. But you know what? When I baked cupcakes the other week, I was like, oh, I'm still really good at this, And I was like, I got this. Don't worry.
Gotta keep those skills sharp.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
Yeah, but I remember the first bake list I sent her, and I mean, it was just like, if you sent the average Joe, like, I need 32 sheet cakes and blah, blah, blah out of your house. And I was like, Philip, I think this is the one that's going to break her, So and she'd just be like, la, 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 and come in the next day with all these sheet cakes.
So now we order from trucks.
Gosh.
Like, we order stuff in bulk, right? But I was working out of my home. So, like, I don't know if we were doing s'mores or we were doing something where I had to go to Walmart and buy an obscene amount of marshmallow cream and peanut butter and, like, whatever we were doing. It was
like, a lot.
And so the joke was always we hated checking out because every single time.
Somebody's doing a little baking.
So finally, that's like the joke that we dread. So
what
finally
are you
one day.
doing? I'm like, I'm hunting buffalo. What's it look like I'm doing?
She said the joke, and I was like, actually, my boyfriend just broke up with me. So. That's why I have 75 pounds of marshmallows.
I'm going to eat every bit of it today.
And then I felt bad.
They're going to find
now
me.
We send other people to check out, and they tell us the same thing. They're like, someone always asks, but on emergency, we'll be like, we need you to go buy 75 pounds of peanut butter. And she's like, someone asked me what I'm doing with all this. And I'm like, it's always a good opportunity for jokes, man.
Oh, yeah. You have to have a sense of humor.
So we apologize to the cashiers right now.
Wherever you are,
it's usually
sorry.
berries and stuff now, though, because we order most of the stuff from trucks now, which is amazing.
Sure.
So it is like a cardiovascular weekly workout to go supply shopping. I'm not kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Before we got trucks, you go into Sam's Club, you buy 140 pounds of butter at least, loading it into the car, however many pounds of flour, powdered sugar, and I mean, we're talking, the car is visibly, from the back, weighted down.
To plug this. If anyone wants to say, why are your cupcakes $3? Here's my butter receipt.
Yeah.
This is how much
hundreds of dollars in butter a week. Yeah, that's what we tell. We don't hear it as often now because they've tasted the stuff. But at first they'd be like, oh, it's an expensive cupcake. And at the beginning I'd be like, here, I'll give you the first one. Like, try it. It's all good stuff. And now it's like, have you priced butter and vanilla lately? Vanilla's like $300 a gallon.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, and a gallon, what do we go through? A gallon every 2 weeks?
We don't use margarine. We
don't use Crisco. There's none of that. It's all real good butter and stuff like that.
So did you expect success when you opened? Like, you thought, hey, we'll have lines out the door, and because everybody's different about that. There are some business owners go into it and they're like, I didn't expect 5 people to walk in the door.
No,
and
I
then,
expected
it blows up, right? So
I expected moderate success.
I think that we did, but also like what is it? You hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst. So like when we
cautiously optimistic
first sat down with our business plan, we're like, okay, worst case scenario, we can have these many sales a month to meet our what quota we need to have.
So still in our mind, we have a quota every day, a daily quota, which in turn as a business person turns into a weekly or monthly quota because it's ebb and flow of whatever. But I remember still, even for the first 6 months or whenever COVID shut us down, every single day we'd both be like checking our numbers just to make sure that we're in. Yeah. And one of us would give a nod like, we met quota today. And sometimes it'd be at noon and sometimes it'd be at 10. But I can say that I rarely check quota now because we're so busy, right? I mean, usually at the end of the day we'll be like, did we make money today? And we'll check. Yeah.
No, I imagine that the next few months are going to be busier, or at least
it's been
steadier.
Busy. Yeah,
so, I mean,
and with the mandates, I don't know if I don't think we're going to be super affected by the mandates lifting. I think those who come already do, except for the new ones that come in and hear about us. But school being out will increase our traffic.
I think more than that, it's the weather because downtown, and you guys have done so much for like parking and stuff. But when it's cold, people don't like walking around downtown. No. So the weather helps us a lot.
Yeah. But I think that at the beginning, I think we thought we would be. I don't think we had any fear of losing everything. I just think I think that we're both confident in ourselves and in each other. Otherwise, yes, always there's risk when you start a business, but like I don't want to spend that much time away from my kids if I think it's maybe going to work. Well, and it wasn't something like, oh, I think I'll open a bakery. No, she baked at home for her, of course it's a different name and whatever brand, but she was doing that then. And I was doing that for 10 years from home. So it was obvious that was our like vein.
We were successful.
Yeah.
already.
From home already.
Yeah,
so we knew.
You already had a crowd of following before you came together. And I think there was what I saw is like after you opened, there was so much excitement about you opening the bakery and in all that you were going to offer. And I know my wife, Jennifer, she would like, hey, go down and get something so we can try it. And I would drive by and there'd be people lined out. I'm like, yeah, I'm not waiting in line. I'll come back.
I was just glad when
I'll come back the next day. And then I got in and had one of your like cream pies, the oatmeal cream pies. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
I was just glad when you finally opened so I could stop getting asked, so when are they opening?
Right.
Like I was supposed to divine
we were over there too.
some magic way to know when you were going to actually
construction
open.
And stuff.
So,
it was
Mike, I just feel like if I have a question in Chillicothe, I'm like, call Mike. Mike knows.
Well,
that's what happens to
it's really funny. I have gotten the same question, which we can talk about later, like 8 times in the last week, and I don't know the answer to it. So there we go.
Call Kelsey. She'll know.
Yeah, that's definitely the truth.
If I call Mike directly, I think he knows because Kelsey's obviously my really good friend. So if I go straight to Mike, he usually knows that I've got some kind of question that I can't just ask Kelsey.
I have a really, to me, it's an interesting question because you both have been at a larger stage, with the book and with being on Food Network and things like that. But what I really love about you guys is how grounded and rooted you are to this town and what, obviously opening a bakery in the heart of our downtown is, does that to you. But I think even before that, it was never, you're from Chillicothe, you're from Waverly and now Chillicothe. And I love that about you guys. What's it like to be on that stage, when you're, in a Food Network setting where you're, going against people from bigger cities, a bunch of them, your book is on the shelves with people that have 5 books or whatever. Yeah. To me, that's such a fascinating thing to play on that stage. What's that like for you individually? And it's 2 different realms really too. Playing
on the stage or being in Chillicothe and past tense playing
being
on
that stage first of all, and then coming back, I guess would be my question.
I'll go first because I love coming back. I'm more of an introvert, so I do the things that I had to do I love writing, so I love that outlet. But speaking in front of stages is not my favorite thing. Even this podcast is not my favorite thing. Like Sarah drags me to this stuff kicking and screaming. I'm like, Sarah, you should do that. And she's like, you should do it. I'm like, I don't want to have to take Xanax. She has a nicer
voice. She's more pleasant, like on the mic.
She actually sent us a message earlier and like, this is like one of my biggest fears.
Yeah. It's not my favorite.
When I sent the text to get everybody engaged, she was all in like from minute 1.
Because I love this town and I love what you guys
did you notice that I waited?
Yeah. You did. That surprised me.
You knew I was in. Yeah. I was just waiting to see what she was going to say.
Listen, I'll do it. I'll do things that make me uncomfortable.
If it's a group thing, I'm always waiting for her.
Uncomfortable. If you want 500 cookies for your event, I am your girl. If you want me to stand on a stage, I will do it.
If you wanted to talk about the cookies as she passes them out.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're so cute.
Sarah makes me do things that
all the time because she's so cute.
So it was having to do even a book tour of what you did was probably like fingernails on a chalkboard for you.
Yeah.
It was terrifying, right?
Did you hear her breath?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be terrifying.
And I still have. I'm actually getting ready to speak at another event in the fall, and like it's something that I can do. It's just something that we're not all good at everything, right? Or like feel.
But you are your worst critic, and so like I am with her when she's had other things obviously since we've been together or whatever, and I can sense her tension like leading up to it, but she also like kills it every time, so you're good at it. So
Sarah, what was it like for you? I mean, obviously you were partnered with a pretty good friend of yours for
a couple of them. Yeah. I don't know, like I have always been romanticized by Chillicothe before I was here. So we moved here once, and I don't want to say we moved to the wrong side of town. We just didn't know a lot about Chillicothe. We moved to the wrong area. So we tucked our tails and went back to Pike County. And I was like, oh, there's something there, Yeah. So we moved into the rental right next to where you are in Story Place. And my husband was not game this time. And I'm like, listen, it's there, and so we moved, and within like 2 weeks, I found a house. I had to do it all by myself, and then I'd be like, here's our house, we're going. And he was like, I think it was 2 weeks later, he was like, you were right. This is amazing. Like, our life has completely changed in just that little bit from just being able, just all of it. It's just so, I don't know. But the Food Network stuff is just, I don't know. It's just really weird because I was not a popular kid. I just had a really troubled childhood. And so it was almost like, it's almost like we don't have Food Network on the windows and stuff because people come in, like, I kind of like that they don't know. Because when they do know, they're like, are you the girl that was on TV? And they want pictures. And of course, you look like you're hit by a bus when you've been working in a bakery for 12 hours. And they take these pictures with you. And you're just like,
people don't realize that when they take those Food Network photos and when they take
those are
pictures
called
for your
hero
website.
shots. That's what they call them. And they're called that for a reason because they do hair and makeup and everything beforehand. And they pose you and they brush them up and, And so I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm just a normal person who got to do some really cool things, and I get emotional because I can't believe that I've done those things and they were amazing. But this is what I want. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I want. This bakery is the dream. I'm living the dream. And people come in all the time. What do I say? How you doing? I'm like, oh, living the dream. And sometimes it's quite sarcastic, like, living the dream because I'm dying and wading through buttercream or whatever, but most of the time it still is true.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about, sometimes when you're not working, you're driving down Paint Street or whatever, and it's dark, and you got the lights, and you look, like, hey, that's our bakery.
Yeah, and you look back at it, and you're just like, oh, because I met Shauna in Schlegel's the first time. I used to go to Schlegel's to meet brides, to have consultations, and Shauna was probably in there writing her book at that time. Yeah. I remember her sitting there with a laptop every time I came in. In fact, you were a little fangirly the first time you introduced yourself to me because she was really backwards, and she said, I make cakes, and and I think I had already done TV by then, I think, because you acted like really, I don't know how to explain it. You were like embarrassed to tell me.
Weird. You could
it's
just
not
say
a big deal, but here's my stuff I've done.
Yeah, she was like, hi, like I'm, and I was, but we didn't really become friends right away. We were just acquaintances. But I just remember sitting in that bakery and going, in Schlegel's, like, I want to have a bakery on this street someday. And I remember looking at buildings across the street, not that one, but others, and dreaming. And I've almost done it several times by myself, and it just never worked out. And I feel like there's a reason for that, because now I got this girl.
I literally can't imagine doing it on my own.
Dude, I would be done.
Not at the level that we
COVID, I'd be like, we're shutting for good.
Yeah.
It was a good run.
If one of us quits, it's a bubble tea shop.
We have a suicide pact. We always say we have a suicide pact. If something gets serious, we're like, suicide pact initiated. Like,
or just bubble tea, because you can just make bubble tea on the fly. So if it becomes a bubble tea shop, we had a falling out or something.
Well, we probably one of us. Something. I don't think we would have a falling out.
This. I'm troubled by this. This is ominous.
That's
no, I don't think we would ever. I don't see us ever having a falling out that would lead to the bakery. But I'm saying, like, if we, sometimes I'm like, I'm done. I quit. She's like, well, I quit too,
But these are jokes because we deal with stress with laughter or crying in Crier's Alley.
Yeah, Crier's Alley is the alley next door. And that's, so
which intersects into Blood Alley, which is odd.
Well, it all works together. Body fluids all over this place because I'm telling you what.
You'll edit that, right?
There are so many.
We don't edit.
No, well, that's just those two alleys. We didn't talk about the others, so we're good.
That's okay.
But yeah, lots of tears in that alley. Lots of tears in that alley.
Sure.
Anytime it gets, because I'm a crier. She's not so much a crier. I am a crier. And there's been a lot of crying in that alley.
Yeah. Well, you had so much. Like, I think all businesses had to deal with that during the pandemic. You had 5 years worth of problems compressed into 9 months, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of recovery that has to happen, and a lot of if there's a few tears shed, like
what's funny is
you survived.
I don't remember crying about the pandemic or any of that. I mean, except for the obvious. But I mean, like, the tears were when we were like dying because we were so busy. I feel like we have been really, really blessed through COVID. Like, I don't feel like there was only a few times that we felt the real fear. Am I right? Is that wrong to say
Yeah,
that out loud?
I was
Like,
trying to think.
I don't feel like we were worried every day about our business. For the first so many months that we were open, we both agreed we are not taking a dime. We're not taking a dime. We're shoving every bit of this in the bank because we're a new business and we have to build up so many months of operating costs. And we both worked with no pay for that whole time. We didn't expect a pandemic, you know what I mean? Right. But I was like, well, this is what we were saving for, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like when I see all these other businesses that are scared and I see businesses closing and everything, it just makes me super thankful because we didn't feel a lot of that.
Well, we just said,
and I hate to even say that out loud.
Well, because what we
said have different
was,
pressures.
We're in survival mode now, so it's not about making money and pushing it and pushing and pushing. Like, if we can survive this, we've won because this is just unprecedented.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so it was just kind of like nothing we could do right then was going to change the outcome. We survived. I feel like we came out moderately unscathed. Right. I mean,
do you think it would have been different
staff?
Had you been established for a number of years? And gotten used to a certain...
I almost think that it would have been scarier.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I almost think that we would have gotten comfortable and it would have been scarier for us because we were still so new. Like I said, we were pinching pennies and shoving everything in the bank.
And also, like we said before, I feel like we needed that time to look back at mistakes that we were currently making. That had we not had a couple months to reevaluate, we could.
Who knows what we'd be in right now?
Who knows what we'd have done?
Probably would have killed each other. Well, probably would have killed some staff.
You know, bless our employees who have put up with us.
Bless us for putting up with them too. Come on now. Shoo. No, we have a great staff. We have a great staff. Yeah. We do have a great staff.
Well, and I think you guys do your best to kind of keep things a little loose, a little fun. I mean, obviously you're bearing down when you have to.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been in your shop.
Well, we had to find a bottle of Mean
bit.
Boss and take a few swigs of it because we were a little too... Don't you think we were a little too passive at the beginning?
Yeah, like basically anybody who came in at the beginning, I'm like,
just,
oh my gosh,
do whatever,
thank you for coming.
We'll take whatever you want, just work.
You don't even have to work that hard. Just, you know.
It's fine. What, you're napping? It's fine. Just keep it to 20 minutes,
fine.
You know?
But like the staff that we have now, like they're just so amazing.
Good.
And so we do, as a small business, we want to do so much more than what we can right now.
Yeah.
But we have lots of perks, like I own an Airbnb, so like this last week, anytime it's not booked, I'm like, hey, just so you know, there's a hot tub.
You can go chill in the hot tub.
So we try to do what
and
we
just try to take. Well, we have like moms, parents. We want to be what the consensus wants employers to be. Like, we're striving to be what everyone thinks employers should be. If you want good quality employees and a good staff, you have to treat them accordingly and you have to make it worth their while. Right. And so I feel like that's another thing we reevaluated during COVID. It was like, we need to pay more money. Even though we're worried right now that we might be broke, we need to pay our staff more money. We need to pay a living wage so that they can take care of their families and stuff. And we also are super flexible, like with the parents, like their schedules. So with the ones that we can, like obviously during open hours, we have people that are scheduled to work up front.
But if you're a baker, like I told our bakers, like
work
you can
whenever
come in
you
at
want.
midnight if you want. If you have your kids are in, a league or whatever, and you're a traveling league, and once you're trained and once we trust you, like you can come.
You know what needs to be done, and you know when it needs to be done by. Do it whenever, right? Work whatever works for you, and we let them work it out amongst themselves too. We just want to know what's going on.
I love hearing stories where the owners of the business put a lot of trust into the employees, because I think that trust just comes back to you.
Dude, they earn our trust. And yeah, I mean, we're just so lucky now. Like I look at the staff that we have right now and
please don't leave us, staff.
Please don't leave us. We love you if you're listening. But we love them. They're, everybody's always like, oh, we have our work family. But they are. Like, we all take care of each other. We have like
a carpooling system in the mornings. Like, hey, you're coming in this time. Like, you're taking these kids here. Like, can you take my kid to this? We have a girl who comes in just to fold boxes because we go through so many boxes. Yeah. And we take our kids to horseback riding lessons every week. Like, we just carpool and do that. So, like, it's, like this support system that we have, I've never had in my life.
I never had that at any of my jobs. I know that our employees care about each other, which is also wonderful and reassuring to us with character. I mean, we've had COVID hit our bakery twice. There were hospitalizations, not by employees, but families of employees. We had other employees volunteer to work the other person's hours so the other person could get their paycheck. Like literally volunteered to work overtime so that person could still have their paycheck, which we were going to take care of it regardless. They didn't, we were like, don't worry. You do not need to work 2 jobs just so someone can have their paycheck. We're going to take care of them. But I'm saying these are the kind of people that we have in there who will offer to work harder just to make sure their coworker is not doing without.
A pleasant day.
Yeah.
Knowing that we have each other's backs and we'll do.
And knowing that they're genuinely good, or, I always say genuinely because it's an inside joke. Genuinely good people. Like they're really good people. Yeah. And that's awesome.
So, that's a special thing. I think you guys realize that.
We do.
I hear over and over and over again. I just had somebody not too long ago call me and say they got a voicemail message saying that the person wouldn't be into work today. And they finished the voicemail by saying, but if you need anything else, just let me know. And they were like, I needed you to come work in. That's what I needed.
Well, and there is a crisis right now with, I know that people say it's not just the food service industry, but like the food service industry is suffering with, finding employees. And so every time we see a post or whatever, we kind of look at each other like, we're so thankful.
Yeah. But also, I mean, we could still, people are like, you hiring? We're like, we're always hiring the right person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have this balance in there that we've been striving for this whole time. We have this perfect balance of people. And so we really needed someone else. And we're both like, I don't want to add another personality in here. It could complicate things, it could rock the boat. And the boat is so sound right now. So yeah, it's scary. Like we can survive with who we have, but we definitely probably need another person or two. But we're also like, you better be a good person. Like we're very picky.
The culture at a workplace is so important. People underestimate that. And it's should be a metric for success of a business. You got your revenue and your return on assets and all those other metrics that people measure.
Right.
But I really think work culture is underestimated at times.
Yeah.
Measuring a business and its success.
Well, and I think this pandemic and the shift and all of that is bringing all that to head.
Yeah.
And I think that some people aren't realizing it yet. Like, everyone learns things at different times or they don't realize it because everyone's like, I just need employees, and it's like,
Yeah.
Like, I think some are realizing it, but I think some are, they'll learn.
Yeah.
We're lucky that we learned early, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like we treat people the way we want to be treated, which is the golden rule. And that comes to our employees as well.
And I feel like, this responsibility to protect that because I don't want people to come in there and have a bad experience or be uncomfortable or feel,
Yeah. Yeah.
other than respected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I trust me, people tell me the bad things whenever I hear about them. I don't ever hear bad things about customer experiences going into your bakery. I'm sure you have.
I mean, we've had a couple
dissatisfied,
but it's like, whatever, put on your mask.
But, yeah.
No, but I mean, like everywhere you go, there's going to be some things. We have been lucky. Well, it's not luck. It's because we have good people in there.
So I have a funny story about that, and maybe this is something that I should not share because after writing a very personal book,
oversharing.
I tried to I need just to not spill everything, but we did have somebody complain a couple weeks ago. I had a mowing accident and I sprained my ankle and it swelled up so big and I couldn't work. Shut up.
She uses one of those hippie mowers that has no, the clip, click, like scissors on a roll.
Yeah.
It's not even a mower. It's a mower.
My little hipster employee, my Hannah Banana, will get on me at the amount of plastic that I use in the shop. So it's my way to give back to the earth when I'm home. Like you do what you can or whatever. So I have a hipster mower or whatever.
I recycle, but I use a gas mower.
So I hurt myself and I sprained my ankle. And so I told Josiah, he's my 16-year-old son, that he had to go to work because I couldn't do it. And we were short and I wasn't going to stick Carrie all by herself on a Saturday. So I sent him in there and we had a customer message us. They said, well, I got home and my cupcakes were upside down and there was this kid in there, this boy in there who acted like he did not know what was going on. So I messaged him. I was like, that was my son. It's because he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. He really doesn't. But I was also like Mama Bear over there. I was like, dude, he's covering for his mom.
I said, I'm
Like, it was
so
his
sorry I
mom's
sprained
fault.
my
Yeah.
ankle. That's definitely my kid.
Yeah.
I will re-advise him how to put the cupcakes in the boxes situation.
Right.
So, I mean, you've heard of pineapple upside down cake. It's just
Yeah,
upside down
or a
cupcake.
trifle. Just grab a fork, man. It's a trifle in a box. It's fine.
And I feel like if you guys get that complaint,
Tastes the same.
like you're going to do what you got to
Of
do to make it
course.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, there are places that people could go where they'd be like, well, sorry about your experience. And that's it.
And
you know,
also, just all the talk about staff, like, don't get it twisted. Like, we're a hot mess express. Like, we have had the things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we've had a lot of crap.
Well, when you're talking about we have lines down the street, like we were letting so many people in, and I'm thankful for those people. So if those people are listening, I'm not saying like it
She's
was
thankful. I'm
it
not.
was our,
So,
leadership
I'm
of
just
trying
kidding.
to manage like 15 people with lines down the street and trying for people to have a good, positive customer service
Yep.
experience. When you're like, actually, it was so funny. 'cause
Wait a
our
minute.
first-
Let me rephrase that. I wasn't talking about the people that I wasn't thankful for. I was talking about the bad employees. Because when she's saying is when we had lines, we were just like, oh, you want a job? Sure. Here's an apron. Here's an apron. We were
Yeah.
hiring every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walked in the door that wanted a job. And so when I say I wasn't thankful, I'm obviously always thankful for the
Obviously, we're thankful,
employees.
yeah.
I mean, for the customers. But the bad employees, you know who you are. You know, deuces.
yeah. Well, and look,
But
some
I'm also
people-
thankful for the learning experience.
some people think that they're ready for anything and they're
they
not.
have no idea.
Well,
Right.
and I think too at the beginning for me, like I said, like I was so overwhelmed with the baking that I'm like, I don't care how you treat me, I don't care how you treat other people. Just come. If you can make stuff, you're gonna make stuff. And
Yeah.
now, because we have had that time and we have reevaluated, like I am so protective of that space. I can train you how to make cupcakes. I can train you how to do, baking and stuff. But like I'm just so protective of that atmosphere.
But we can't train you to be a good person very well. You know what I mean? We can only lead by example. I think that we have a killer staff. Gosh. We've had some turds in the toilet, let's just say that.
You'll edit that, right, Marty?
That's a great analogy.
No, don't
Thank
edit
you.
that. It's wonderful. Don't worry, we flushed.
One of my favorite things you just said earlier was that you would be downtown and you would dream about your shop being downtown.
Yeah.
And I loved hearing that because I think Mike and I both have had moments where we have done the same thing. It is fun to dream about what else can come downtown because we've had so many great things move in,
Yeah.
and it's such a great atmosphere. Like my daughters both decided to leave town and go to college
Elsewhere.
far from home, but they love coming back because they loved like go Friday night walk around downtown and see what's all open and more things are staying open. And what I'm getting to is you guys totally bailed my wife and I out a few Sundays ago for a birthday dinner at Jen's parents.
Nice.
And she's like, oh my gosh, we don't have anything to bring. And she's like, I wonder if High Five Cakes is open. So we swung by, got a bunch of cupcakes.
thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. And then it was the hit of the birthday party.
You know what's
Well,
fun
that's
for
awesome.
me? Like running the Airbnb too. Like I make a guidebook, so it's funny because I grew up here, I live here, and so it's like people are like, "Well, what is there to do in Chillicothe?" I'm like, at first, I'm like, I don't
She's
know.
like,
Yeah.
We have so many cool things, and more things are popping up all the time. Like
Yeah.
today, because it's summer, my kids are out of school. I took Gabe to work with me, and he wanted to go to the arcade that's at the Antique Emporium.
Yeah.
and I'm in there taking pictures for my guidebook. I'm like, this is a really sweet spot. Like
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
people can
It's
come.
really
Like
cool.
we actually have so many cool things, and people. So it's cool for me to hear out of towners come and stay at our place, and
They
be
love
like,
it.
Chillicothe is up and coming. It's cool. There's things to do.
it also doesn't hurt that you're like the most extra Airbnb host in the world, man.
Hey,
Hey,
somebody-
you got to set yourself apart.
that's right. Somebody
She
who stays in a bunch of
does.
Airbnbs. When we go visit my kids, they're in Fort Collins, Colorado. We always stay in an Airbnb and we try different ones every time. And there have been some great Airbnbs and there have been some really
Well, but
really
here's
bad
the personalization that she does is just, and I told her that, I think it was just yesterday in the driveway. I was like, dude, I just want to make sure that you know that I have never stayed in an Airbnb where someone left me s'mores because they knew I was camping, or left me cupcakes because they knew it was my birthday, or left me, like
They're decorated. The living
decorated with a birthday banner. Like,
But
dude,
for me, it's like an introvert's dream because I
She's
can.
an animal.
I can serve you without having to talk to you.
Yeah, she does. She leaves all these. Yeah,
We
it's
can
true.
be friends without me having to.
And that's why you got Superhost like right away. But I'm just like still, whenever you do it, I'm always like, I always bust her chops for it. I'm like, you're not gonna make money spending money,
Well, I
but
just
I'm
always
actually
think,
going,
like,
oh, she's so
These are
cute.
these
Look at her.
Getaways.
I love it.
I
love it.
We always want like this. Everybody knows the golden rule or whatever, but like do unto others as you would want. Like
Right.
that would be really cool if I showed up and had.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, they
S'mores
left
stuff
s'mores for
already or
us.
whatever.
You're killing me, Smalls. I
Usually-
love it. I love it. I just bust her chops. but I
Usually
love
they get
it.
high five cakes goodies, but
Well,
we're only
obviously.
open Thursday through Sunday right now, so sometimes I have to do other stuff.
Yeah. But you
really
do.
cool.
She has a big guidebook. Yeah, Chillicothe is just. It's awesome. And we've been tempted to open other businesses, but now we're just like, we're tired.
I'm tired. Yeah,
Like,
I'm tired.
I wanted a noodle house so bad, but now we're just tired. We're just
Yeah.
like, we were romanticized by the idea of other businesses and even looked at other places. Like we were like walking up to the cliff to jump, and then it was just like, yeah,
No, we have
let's take
things
a
in the
nap.
works,
Yeah,
but-
we do have some things in the works though.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Some
Well,
exciting things.
And, Marty was mentioning this earlier, but, the way that downtown has kind of evolved. I mean, I'm still the guy that goes to other people's downtowns and goes, man, why don't we have that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like coming back trying to figure out how to get it done. Right. And then, man, the way they market their downtown is super slick, and we could easily do that. Like I just went on a trip last week where I
Manchester.
went to
Sent me a
Bellefonte last
picture.
week. Sent you guys a picture of a drive-through on an alley.
Yeah.
And I was like, imagine the possibilities, people.
Dude, I mean, I can
so-
imagine it, but there's been a lot of shouting matches in that alley, man.
yeah.
People do not get it.
No, I get it, but
That's off subject. I didn't mean to tarnish your
whenever
dream.
you're talking about a community, it's kind of like turning around a cruise ship.
Yeah.
It's you're going to have to do it slow.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be deliberate, but there's still going to be some painful moments.
Yeah.
We saw that with parking. We'll see that again with 2nd Street.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. But
We'll see
in
it
order
this
to
weekend
grow,
with
we
the
got to do
feast.
that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but-
I think that you do a great job, though, introducing things.
Well, we try not to give too much too fast. I
think that's
inherited
just
a lot of things that were just unfinished,
Yeah.
and I'm not an unfinished person. I'm just like,
You
hey,
gotta
we
go
got to
down
have
their
a
list
decision.
and check it off before you can even start on yours.
Yeah, let's just give us a decision on these things.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful that they went the way they did. So
I'm just grateful that we are there, like still. even
well,
though
you've
we're
added a
tired.
ton.
I've been thinking, like, when I grew up here, like, because I have a teenager now, like, when I was a teenager, none of this stuff was here. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say when that was, but we didn't have
Please.
these things.
I remember just recently, like, we work all the time, so we don't really see, like, everything that's going on, but then we'll finally find time one day to, like, walk around downtown, and it's just so reinvigorating for me.
Yeah.
Because even though we're right there, we're usually just, like, head down in the kitchen working, and then, like, sometimes we'll be like, oh, we need to go get a totem, go to Totem to get a card for so-and-so, don't we? And then we'll go together and we'll, like, do a little lap, a little downtown shopping, and it's always just like, re-romantic, it's just a romantic, beautiful town. There's so much cool stuff.
And things are continuing to evolve and
Yeah.
change a little bit. There's
There's more coming.
new stuff coming in. So I mean,
And it's
Yeah.
partly too, like, educating people, like, where your money goes matters, instead
Yeah.
of just buying stuff from big chains. Like, we work so hard for our money. Like, I care where it goes. And so I think all of this downtown renovation, too, is just, like, educating people that, like, to be
Yeah.
responsible with where you're spending and really
Yeah.
investing back into your community where our kids live,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And all of downtown, that's what those are your neighbors and your friends and your family and stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against Bridge Street. Obviously, it's part of Chillicothe, but I realized when I went to Bridge Street, was it today? I was like, dang, I haven't been on Bridge Street in like forever.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to not come back. The traffic was terrible.
And downtown is just like, as I've said a million times, I don't know why I keep saying this, but as an introvert, I keep to myself. But even me, like, people are breaking me down. Like, today there was somebody that was, like, shouting on me on the street. And I got back in the bakery, and Carrie answered the phone. She goes, "This is a phone for you." It was Bernie from Bernie and Max. And I was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, but thanks for checking on me."
Yeah.
Like,
That's cool.
That is precious. And Pam, who works there,
Brings us oranges.
brings us oranges because she knows we're over there eating sugar.
Trash.
So she'll be like,
she's like, how many's in there today? And we'll be like, 5. Why? She'll be like,
So it just
come back and give us 5 oranges, and she's like, "Yep, Pam's trying to make sure we get our vitamin C in instead of our."
Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The neighbors, yeah, it's so.
But that's
good.
a culture, I think, with downtown now and it maybe wasn't like that.
Mr. Highland always blowing off our.
Oh, bless!
We always
got
have
a big
leaves
fancy
and
leaf blower, and he'd come down and blow ours off too. I bought one and it went, and the charger quit working, and I think it was a sign that Pat Highland was supposed to be doing that, and I shouldn't have bought the blower. So
That
nice.
is pretty cool to hear those stories.
to have that community, and like that's where your money's going, is people that are looking out for each other and really have the best of each other in mind.
Yeah.
And working together to, make it better too. Like everybody and like Sean at Fire and Stone, if he's hosting an event, he'll be like, "Hey, you want to do desserts for this event?" Or I don't know. It's just really cool how everybody works together.
Well, I've always said that, there's a lot of people that say we want to make it hard for people to leave.
Yeah.
But, look, Marty's daughters go to school in Colorado. My daughters are going to school out of town. They're still going to be in Ohio. It's not my job to keep people here for the rest of their lives.
Want them to come back.
My job is to make it harder for them to leave and very alluring for them to come back. So and I feel like we've done that over the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Like we've made it really, really hard to say, I'm leaving and I will never come back to Chillicothe. And there are some people that, look, their careers are always going to take them elsewhere, right? They may have aspirations that only can be satisfied by a bigger city. But if their parents are here or their loved ones are here, they're always going to come back. We would at least like to give them a good experience when they come back.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I've had people come from all over the world to visit. Just people I've met in my travels and Food Network and all this stuff, and come to visit, and they rave about Chillicothe.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they rave about it, and I always take them just to the downtown, like to lunch at Carl's and to whatever. And I remember my friend just recently, when we were opening the bakery, she just came from DC, but online posting all these pictures, like, look at this park, and look, like, I just can't believe this beautiful town. She's not lying. This is where she lives, and it's beautiful.
I feel like too, in a smaller town, you can notice those changes more. Like for our kids to see, like, wow, this place has changed so much. Like, you're gonna have my husband on in a couple weeks on the Project Bad Apple organization. Like they put in a disc golf thing in the park, and like my kids got to see that. There was none, and now there's a cool disc golf thing.
And there's always people playing
we
every
renovated this,
time I'm in the park.
and Sarah and I renovated a 200-year-old building, stuccoed the walls. So it's
0 out of 10 would not recommend.
I love if you need your walls stuccoed.
I'm just kidding.
Call
Yeah,
me.
she stuck over herself.
I love it.
It was my idea, though.
See, this is
The
how you
stucco was
compliment each other right there. You want to do it, you don't.
No, well, I had the idea, and she executed it.
backup
Because I was like,
plan-
these walls are like this, they're all wavy, and this building's so old. I was like, the only thing that's going to look halfway decent is stucco. And she's like, hold my beer.
I've
I got
actually
this.
trained with my aunts who had a painting business for years. Like that's my third
She's
backup.
getting ready to paint our
plan.
bakery again.
So,
And I'm not.
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can make a bigger difference. I feel like that it looks like, oh, that's what I mean. Like,
Well, you're in a big congested city, and a little place opens. It has to have a whole lot of stank on it. You know what I mean?
impact.
Like a whole lot of marketing and whatever to be even known that it's there.
Exactly.
And here, everyone can't wait to support you,
Right.
or
Well, we magnify things sometimes too because we're in a smaller town. So you open that place in Columbus and somebody gets on Facebook and trashes it, nobody knows, right?
Right.
Because it's like, a drop of rain in a rainstorm. But if you do a drop of rain here, it takes a little bit more of an impact.
Right.
And so people start to then believe sometimes that an issue, a little issue, is a big issue for no reason. And I always have to be real careful with our businesses when they start getting some social media criticism for right or wrong, to tell them, like, listen, remember, you may not be even, that may not even be your audience, your market. And they're complaining about something, a $3 cupcake, let's say, right?
do not engage.
Hey, maybe it's just not for you.
If I've seen someone if I see someone post about like the $3 cupcake, I'll be like, come on down, the first one's on me, bruh.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that even though it's a big impact, You would be amazed how many people are in Ross County that have never been downtown.
No, I agree.
Never been downtown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how?
Yeah, I was.
How could you not be experiencing this glorious area?
Cashier, I don't know. We were talking about the bakery, and she's like, "Where's that?" I was like, "On Paint Street." She's like, "I don't know where that is."
Where's Paint Street? Yeah, a girl I went to school with, I saw her at like Walmart. I don't know where it was, somewhere on Bridge Street. And I was like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Where's your shop?" Blah blah. I'm like, "Oh, it's down on Paint Street, downtown." She's like, "Oh, I've never been downtown." I'm like,
Yeah.
You're missing out,
So
man.
we're still only hitting like a certain I feel like we just had this talk, like we're successful, I feel like in downtown, but like there's still only a certain percentage of people shopping
Who are even aware.
Yep. Well,
but it's growing gradually. Every single day we have people come in and say this is our first time.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
That's amazing because honestly, I think if people come downtown, they're going to be back because the one thing that I've told people is that, if you come for a Paints game or for to see Tecumseh, or let's say you're a history buff and you come to go to Adena Mansion or the Historical Society, you may only be able to be here and do that for one day. And so you may see downtown and go, oh, I didn't get to go there. I didn't get to go there. You know what? Next time I'm planning a 2-day trip, and that's when we'll get you.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So it seems like the last 3 or 4 podcasts, Mike's been able to use his term that what do you call Ross County? Ohio's
biggest outdoor playground.
Yeah, because we have so much, even outside of downtown, going on.
Oh, yeah.
Great Seal.
Ross County's huge, too. And people don't realize. Well, I didn't even realize how vast it was. And I don't know where I was driving, like out to Amish country or something. I'm like, oh, dang, we're still in Ross County. Like, I had no idea we were still in Ross County. Yeah, it's big.
We have a little of everything, which is great.
Yeah.
So.
But I think the thing about the people coming downtown that like have never been is that personalization that you get from a down home in a small business, that treatment or just the memory. Like, not that every business has a certain vein of people or whatever, that a genre of people that visit their shop, but we have a lot of people who come in the shop and they're definitely not the kind of person that's going to spend $3 on a cupcake. And you're like, they're probably not coming back. And they're the ones that turn out to be our regulars and come in and buy out every single, whatever it may be, because they know the product is good and they like the treatment. Yeah. So it's not just for like, I don't know. There's always like a stereotype behind like, higher end things or small. People always think that small businesses are higher end because it's a small business. So it might not be as cheap as Walmart or whatever, because it's handmade or whatever. But then, a lot of people break those walls down, that you don't expect it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, hours go by like seconds on this podcast. So thank you for spending this time.
Holy cannoli. It's
I know.
8:20.
And,
y'all didn't get a word in edgewise, did you?
No, that's okay. This is what it's for.
That's not, we're not here for that. Podcast. We do these other things where we just sit here and hang out, and that's our time to talk to each other. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Yeah, this has been great.
And thank you for hanging with it in the first year and a half of inopportune situations, I guess, for lack of a better term. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. And thank you. It's been...
Thank you for having us.
Great to have you on
here.
So
it's been cool, I think.
You've been listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford.
But I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home. Feels like home. Feels like